Oh, she's awesome. We had amazing board training yesterday, and we had people from other Unity churches here from the region, and so we are so thankful for your time and your love and effort and energy that you did and created for us yesterday. So Reverend Charli has been an ordained Unity minister since March of 2009. She came into Unity through the eclectic doorway. Reverend Charli serves the Unity movement in various ways. She serves the Unity Southwest region as the minister, Unity Worldwide Ministries as region rep, a ministry consultant, an interim ministry specialist, and a minister of record. Reverend Charli has a passion for assisting ministries and individuals as we all navigate the changes in this new era. Reverend Charli's mission is to creatively demonstrate the emergence of divine consciousness through grace. Through her talks and workshops, she facilitates the movement of energy using engaging spiritual practices that will consciously broaden and deepen your spiritual journey of wholeness. Charli has been a spiritual finder all her life. A finder because she not only seeks deeper truths to put into practice, but finds and demonstrates those truths in powerful ways. She's a firm believer that life is for living, and family has always been an important part of her life. She's been married to a wonderful man named Dennis for over 50 years. They have 2 children, 14 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. You don't look old enough to have great-grandchildren. But that's amazing. That is a testament to your whole spirit. So Reverend Charli is going to lead us in a meditation and then into her talk today, which is titled Be of One Accord. So let's welcome Reverend Charli. So you're gonna walk? I'm gonna walk. There you go.
Okay, so let's just take a moment. I just invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. And just take in that breath, that holy, sacred breath. And just let go. Just breathe into this space, this holy and sacred space. A minute ago, we greeted each other saying, Namaste. I behold the God in you. And so we behold the God within ourselves. We turn that around and we consciously recognize the God within us, the divine expression that we are. We are the holy ground of God, connected, one. And again, I just invite you to breathe into this space, bringing our awareness to the breath, the light, the power of God. Breathing you. And as you hold that sacred space, just come back when you're ready and open your eyes. So good morning. So I just have to say, it's weird to have somebody talk about you. That's really weird. So I had a birthday recently, and I turned the big 7-0. Kind of weird. And so my daughter sent me a present, and in that present there was a bag, and it said Queen of Everything. And I went, yeah, that's me, Queen of Everything. It's like I want to live life so fully that it's like I got to do everything. And so when somebody reads something about, well, she does this and she does this and she does this and she does that, I'm like, hi, she needs to really kind of sit down and take a break. She needs a rest. But I love what I do. So this morning I want to talk about being of one accord. And I want to talk about what it means to live in the new math. Now, when we were going to school, they said, oh, new math. Then when my kids were going to school, it was, oh, new math. My grandkids, well, that was new math. Well, this is new math, because this is spiritual math. And in spiritual math, 1 plus 1 equals 1. There is no separation. And so actually, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 1. Because there is no separation. And so we live in this awareness that we are connected. We are connected with all that is. And that we are that divine expression, expressing as us. Each individualized expression is precious, no matter how that expression is showing up in the moment. So my question becomes, who do we want to leave out? Who do we want to say, oh, well, we're all one, except them, except that person, except that, whatever that is? What if we actually came from a place of recognizing that we are all one? And that rather than condemning other people and blaming other people, we actually bless them. Jesus said, bless your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. He didn't say, condemn your enemies and stay the heck away from them and fight them at every turn. So this Sunday is the 5th Sunday of Lent. And in the booklet, in the garden, Ellen Davenport she's been talking about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. And at this point in the reading, she's gotten to the point where Judas brings the crowd to arrest Jesus. The disciples want to fight. One of them even gets a sword out and cuts the ear off of the slave. And Jesus reprimands him and says, no, that's not what we're doing. And he says, let's go do this. Let's do this. Non-resistance, non-fighting, non-getting into that place of I'm right, I am the son, I am the daughter of God, I am right. they are wrong. None of that. A place of non-resistance is the most powerful place that we can come from. That's where our power is. It's not from a place of fighting back. So many years ago, during the Vietnam War, when there were lots of anti-war marches in Washington, Mother Teresa happened to be there at the time that they were going to do really a big one. And they thought, oh my gosh, would it not be so cool to have Mother Teresa at our march? I mean, come on. This would speak so loudly to people if Mother Teresa was at our march. So they go to her and they say, won't you come and march with us? And she said, no. No. But if you want to do a pro-peace march, I'm your gal. No fighting against, but really standing for what we're for. What am I for? So in Philippians 4:9, it says, whatever is honorable, whatever is true, whatever is pure, whatever is just, think on these things, and you will experience the peace of God. Whatever is honorable, whatever is true, whatever is just, whatever is pure, speak on these things, or think on these things, and you will experience the peace of God. And so when we're thinking, I'm just going to say that what we think, we talk about this in our principles. What we think eventually comes out of this, okay? It just does. There's sometimes, I think that there's a flap in the back of my, that's, kind of from the head to the mouth. And sometimes it's broken. And it doesn't shut when it should. And things just go right out the mouth. Anybody else have that experience where you're like, oops, probably shouldn't have said that. And maybe not right away, it might be later. Probably shouldn't have said that. So we want to change our thinking because that's where it really starts. It really starts with our thinking. What are we thinking about the people around us? What are we thinking about the world right now? What are we thinking? When we're watching the news, when we're walking down the street, what are we thinking? Because what we're thinking is what we're going to experience. We'll experience more of that. Because that's where our focus is. It's just plain and simple, that's where our focus is. And when that's where our focus is, our humanity sometimes wants to just, pop up there and say, oh, I've got some juicy stuff I want to tell somebody else. Let me have some, I need to share this juicy stuff. I need to share what I saw. I need to share what I heard. Because I need to do this juicy stuff. So I'm going to share with you an experience that I had about sharing juicy stuff. So I needed to, I was supposed to speak at a unity ministry, and an emergency came up in my family, and I couldn't go. so I called, in plenty of time, I called. And I spoke to the board president, and within 3 to 5 minutes, I received a text from somebody else. And it just said, I'm really praying for this situation. I'm like, wow, that was quick. That was really quick. The next morning, I received a phone call from a friend of mine. She's crying. She's crying. And she says, can I pray with you? And I'm like, why are you crying? What's going on? And I'm thinking, this is backwards. If you're crying, I should be praying with you. You're saying you want to pray with me. What's going on? And she looks at me and goes, your son's in a coma. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody needs to back up. Everybody needs to back up. But what happened was, it's kind of like that telephone game. Everybody put a little twist on it. A little twist on what I said. And by the time she got it, she interpreted it as my son was in a coma. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's not put that out there. Let's just nip that one right in the bud, because that's not it. And we had a long conversation about it. Because when we share the juicy stuff, people often put a little more juice to the juicy stuff. They add just a little bit. And they don't think that they're changing it. But you can see by my experience that it does change it. And it becomes something that it is not. And so people are holding that. They're holding that in their mind. And I'm like, whoa, 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 no. I don't want anybody holding that in their mind. We're holding wholeness. We're holding peace. She actually asked me, she said, what would you want me to pray for him? And I said, peace. I want him to be at peace. And she was like, whoa. That wasn't what she expected. And so it's really about watching what we think and how we interpret things. Really asking ourselves, is this true? Is this true? Or has it been juiced up? Is it true? I don't know. So, on your chair today, when you came in, there was a bracelet. And I'm going to invite you to play a game with me. So, years ago, there was a Unity minister who came up with the idea of no complaining. And she did rubber band bracelets, and they said no complaining on them. And mine don't say that. Mine is going to be no gossiping, no juice, for 21 days. So how this works is you put the bracelet on, and then if you gossip, you switch the bracelet to the other arm. So when you're telling somebody that story of what you saw, what you heard, that's not your experience, then you get to switch the bracelet. And don't make it complicated. It's, you know within yourself when you're not in alignment with that truth of who you are. That's when you switch the bracelet. Until you can wear the bracelet on the same wrist for 21 days. Because it takes 21 days to make that shift in consciousness. As you do that for 21 days, you will be transformed. Because you will be recognizing our connection rather than our separation. You'll be recognizing how we're all connected. Not the same, but that we all have that God presence within us. And yes, there will be moments that you'll probably want to throw the bracelet across the room so that you can just, really let it out. Because sometimes we get frustrated, right? And that's part of our human experience. But just breathe into the moment. This isn't about judgment. This isn't about doing it right or wrong. This is just about awareness. Being aware. Oh, I'm doing other in this moment. I'm doing other in this moment. And when I'm doing other, then I'm not recognizing the God presence in someone else. And if I'm not recognizing the God presence in someone else, I can't recognize it in myself. There is no separation. So if I'm not recognizing that God presence, then I am in a place of separation and I can't see it in myself. If I can't see it in myself, there is no peace. So Lowell Fillmore wrote an article back in 1936. And he actually calls the article Unseating the Tyrant. And I thought that was interesting that it was 1936. And what he says is bless. Bless. Pray for and bless. And people said to him, but wait a minute, if I bless that which I don't think is the person that I think is, that I'm labeling as other, won't that be blessing what they're doing? And he said, no. Because when you bless someone, you are giving them God presence. And when you're giving them God presence, God cannot not do good. So when you bless someone, you are actually awakening the God presence within them even more. Now that blessing has to come from a place of non-judgment. It's not about, wow, I think you're really a screw-up, so I'm going to bless you. So that you'll behave the way I want you to behave. And it's not about that. It's really coming from a place of love. Jesus came from a place of love and of power when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. When he said, no, this is not about fighting. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. There is no other. There is just one. And so, I too am going to engage in this process. This process of 21 days of no other. So you're not alone in this. That's not like I'm standing up here going, okay, you guys need to do this. I already got it. No. I need to do this too. I need to be in a place, I'm recognizing I need to be in a place where I am recognizing the oneness in others. And I'm inviting you to join me in recognizing that oneness. Namaste.